everybody, Joe Pizar here, certified financial planner here with Washington Family Wealth here in Washington, Pennsylvania. Trying to figure out the lighting here, and if I can get this edited in time, we will be up to date with our financial calendar series. So what I'm covering today, and I'll try to keep this one brief, and we're going to do a little bit different with the format, but today we're going to cover open enrollment for those that are active employees still working, and we're going to cover open enrollment for Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans. So I'm going to switch over to some slides to help better explain this. So here we go. All right, let's get started with understanding open enrollment. So in this, we're going to cover what folks that are still working, that are typically getting their benefits through an employer, a union, some other provider through their employer. And then we're going to cover what those on Medicare that are looking at Medicare Advantage plans, supplement plans, what they should be looking at. So our open enrollment is our annual opportunity to make changes to our coverage, change what coverage we're getting. And there are some things that we can change all the time, some things that we can only get to change either in this open enrollment period. And there are some different nuances between those that are out in the workforce and those that are, on Medicare. So let's get going. All right. So for our employer open enrollment periods, right, we're going to have a review period, typically a couple weeks to a month, to check out the new coverages. Our employer may have made changes to the coverages, right? Hey, we brought on a new healthcare provider. We changed the limits with what you can do with your disability plan. We changed underwriting requirements for life insurance, et cetera, so on and so forth, right? So every year they're going to choose their benefit suite of providers, and then every year you're going to get this opportunity to make large changes to your plan as a whole, typically in regards to your health insurance. Most of the other ones will let you make amendments other times during the year, but the primary one, if we wanted to say go from a high deductible health plan to a PPO, that's gonna be during this time period. So we get a couple of weeks, typically starting in October, to look over the new plans. Then we're going to get to make changes. So you have, up until a certain date, typically in November, maybe even December, to make the changes for your plan. Normally this is regarding health, dental, vision, life insurance, flex spending accounts, and health savings accounts, HSAs, maybe DC dependent care flex spending accounts. So there's all these different types of options that benefit providers have to give to you. This is the time when we want to double check that. One thing I would certainly encourage too, and we've talked about this in some of our earlier videos, make sure all of your beneficiaries are inputted and correct on these policies, all these things, and you'd be surprised how many, and usually they'll make you put a beneficiary in, but you'd be surprised how many we see where it's like, boy, I never added my beneficiary to my 401k or my life insurance or what have you, or to make sure that it's the correct person. So sometimes things change, and we want to make sure that the right people are reflected on all of our benefits. Lastly, we're going to take action. So whatever changes are necessary, we're going to have a deadline, make those changes effective, and normally the new changes take place on Jan 1, which is similar to Medicare and the open enrollment period for them as well. So that's why we're kind of going through all this now, and we have these open enrollments so we can get the policies amended, changed to what is appropriate, and be off and running for 1/1. Yep. Outside of this, and there are some extenuating circumstances. So you have a change in your marital status, you have a birth of a child, you lose your coverage for any number of reasons. There are all these things that could potentially allow you to make changes to your coverage outside of that enrollment period. But for the most part, for most people, this is when we're making those decisions and changes. All right, so let's talk about Medicare open enrollment. So October 15th through the 7th, December 7th, and this is your annual period to change your Medicare Advantage plan, your Part D drug plan, or just switch back to original Medicare. Some people decide that, the Advantage plans are not for them. It's an extra expense. I would be fine on just regular straight Medicare. Fine, and you can make that change. So we get this opportunity once a year, similar to when you go on to Medicare. You get you can be underwritten under any of your Advantage plans automatically without table rating and all that. So this is your chance every year to change those. It goes into effect Jan 1, annual review notice of change. So you'll get that notice of, hey, your coverage limits have changed and here's why. And you have that opportunity to change your provider every year. You're not stuck with them. So we're going to check those coverage providers and the drug formulas. So your mix of drugs and treatments are going to be different for each plan. So we want to see which one's going to be the best for you where you're at in your healthcare. And then we're going to compare those year over year premium costs. There is a bonus Medicare Advantage open enrollment window from 1/1 to 3/31 where you can make one more change to that Medicare Advantage plan. So something to keep in mind if you're going back and forth between these different options. Okay, so let's go through our little checklist. And this is for everybody, whether you're the person that's still insured through private insurance, your business that you work with, your union, or some other benefits provider, or you're on Medicare, or potentially you're on both. Sometimes people, they work past 65 and they are on both Medicare and their employer coverage. And that Medicare kind of acts as a backup coverage, Medicare A, while they're still currently employed and have, primary insurance through their employer. But all right, so what are we going to do? We're going to look at the different plans available to us. Are there any changes? What are those changes? What are the premium differences? What are my deductibles that I would be expected to pay if I needed care? What are the various coverages and how do they differ from last year, or is my need changed? And then we're just going to look at all those new options. All right. We're going to verify the networks. Very important with our PPO plans, right, for healthcare, and make sure that those providers are still going to be within our network. I don't think that we're isolated in this, but we've seen a large closing of pharmacies in our area, dramatically actually, recently. So just making sure that you have access to convenient prescriptions and access to care for the right in-network providers if you're limited to that. So just something to consider and think about as you're reviewing it. Check our drug coverages, right? So your formula of coverage might be different within the different plans. So just making sure, and our medication needs change from year to year, especially as we get, into those retired years. And then lastly, meeting these deadlines. So just be knowledgeable that there is a cutoff. You must do some of these things by a certain date, and just be prudent with that and get it taken care of. All right. Well, that about wraps it up for open enrollment and insurance. So I hope everybody is enjoying the fall weather, and make sure that you get through taking a look at your insurance coverages, making sure that they're appropriate, cost effective, and taking care of your family the way they need to. Again, I'm Joe Pizar, certified financial planner with Washington Family Wealth. If you need us, reach out. We are scheduling review meetings through October and the holiday here. So if you need to talk to us about something, we're more than happy to set up your review meeting and or consultation. And certainly appreciate everybody tuning in. And we'll see you next month. Take care.